illegal industry. And
Daniel Sumner is an agricultural economist at the University of California, Davis. Are the regulations in California working?
I would say nobody thinks they're working.
Sumner is co-author of a book subtitled The Blunt Realities of Cannabis Economics. And the reality is, illegal growing still makes economic sense.
They're making money. They are selling it without taxes, without regulations.
And often, illegal sellers have a long-established customer base.
And now they're told, go down to the mall, buy it from somebody you don't know, because it's government approved. And why should I do that? And the government said, oh, so you can pay twice as much.
They shouldn't have never legalized them. That's the problem. And that's going to be a problem in the future.
A spate of citywide smoke shop robberies have police and neighbors on heightened alert. The latest happening over the weekend at Level Up Exotic Smoke Shop on 125th Street, leaving a 42-year-old man dead.
Once again, thank you for clicking on this video. We really do appreciate it that you find an interest in the story we're about to discuss today. And what we are going to discuss today is basically cannabis, marijuana licensing, legalities and stuff like that. Because basically, let me set it in this perspective. I am not for legalizing of marijuana. And you know, you may say to yourself, well, you know, it will help people, this, and that. Is that, hold on there. If you would like to have marijuana as a medicinal, as far as a medicine and stuff like that, there is a parameter to go by. Yes, I agree, the pharmaceutical companies are greedy bastards and all that, but hear me out. If this is recommended for people who have issues, it should be prescribed by a doctor. This should not be sitting there where people just start smoking up. We are starting to see issues that are cropping up, and you know, I forewarn and I tell people this is going to happen. Legalizing it is not going to stop the problems that we've had for many years. It is going to increase the problems. I mean, we're headed in a slippery slope situation. As here in New York, where it's been legalized and the licenses are over, I think we're into the third license that has been approved in New York. But meanwhile, we have the situation, as said in Monday's New York Post on the February 13th, going back in crime, felonies, returning back to the days. We're up in drape, larceny, and robberies. I mean, you're talking 17% in drape, 25% in grand larcenies, and 26% in robberies. And in that 26% of robberies, we've had, 4 or 5 smoke shops have been robbed in the last several days. You may ask yourself, why is that? Why is we're having that situation? Well, it's because there are those who are already selling illegal cannabis and edibles in their store directly, and the criminals know that this is happening, and they're making a lot of money in this situation, because once they purchase it and they leave the store, no one's going to stop them from using it. So they know where all the money is in the situation. And you may ask yourself, well, that's just New York. That's not helping anywhere else. Well, I hate to tell you, you're wrong about that. It is happening elsewhere. And on this article, which came out recently in the New York Post, illegal weed is killing licensed California bud shops. New York may be headed for a similar fate. Not even Jerry Garcia, it seems, can make it in California's chaotic weed market. Garcia handpicked the brand named for the late iconic singer and guitarist recently announced that it would stop selling cannabis products in the Grateful Dead home state. And Handpick, which is owned by Holistic Industries, is just the latest high-profile pro-pot enterprise to exit California. Companies, it seems, may be eager to reach the world's largest legal pot market, but high taxes, complex regulations, and the booming illegal trade have made it hard to turn profit in the Golden State. And cannabis firms in New York, now new legalized marketplace, already facing similar concerns. Wana Brand's gummy edibles are available in more than a dozen states, but last year pulled its plug on California. It's only it's the only market they've abandoned. Curleaf, one of the country's largest pot concerns, exited California a few weeks ago. The legal industry simply cannot compete with the illicit market that is paying no taxes, wannabe CEO Nancy Whitman said. In Los Angeles, taxes on legal weed top 30%. Rather than pay up, buyers regularly source their stashes from illegal shops and delivery services that sell similar products tax-free. Aside from the price, it can be hard to tell the difference between legal and illegal cannabis. Further complicate matters, nearly 6 years after California's legal market opened, vast swaths of the state are still closed to dispensaries. State law gives cities and counties the power to decide what kind of pot businesses they permit, according to the State Department of Cannabis Control. 61% of the local governments don't allow pot shop. In a conservative Orange County, for example, most of its 3 million residents don't have dispensaries in their city. By shutting out legal businesses, jurisdictions are handing out illegal market a de facto monopoly. Regulators meant to protect the public health are accomplishing the exact opposite as millions of consumers turn to the cheaper but untested, unsafe, illegal products, says Wesley Hine, president of the State Cannabis Distributor Association. New York, California, and other states speak loudly about their quest to support small minority-owned cannabis business, but if large, well-capitalized companies can't make a market work, legal mom and pops have little chance either. The illegal market used to invoke farmers to tend small gardens in the forest. Today, vast unlicensed criminal operations hide in plain sight alongside licensed growers in the California desert and other mostly rural areas. Operated by armed criminals, these farms guzzled water unlawfully and dumped pollutants with impurities. In 2021, California's illegal market did more than $5 billion in sales. By all estimates, the illegal market is far larger than DCC-led search warrants that seized $77 million in illegal cannabis in 2021, perhaps 1% of the state's total illegal market. California and other legal states lack the resources and political will to crack down harder. Harsh enforcement against illegal operators would also defeat the purpose of legalizing in the first place. Similar enforcement challenges has already emerged in New York, which only permit pot sales in 2021. The first city legal Bud Boutique, for instance, opened in late December, faced from day one with an estimated 1,400 New York shops already peddling bud illegally. These businesses, many of them bodegas and smoke shops, largely sell unlicensed pot imported from California and elsewhere. The illegal market is shipping in tractor trailers of cannabis products, one of CEO Whitman said. There is no enforcement, making New York just as challenging as a market like California. In addition to not paying taxes, unregulated shops also accept credit cards. For consumers, this may seem like a mere matter of convenience, but with licensed cannabis industry still mostly cut off from the banking system, illegal shops have yet another edge by accepting all forms of payment. Industry hurdles like accessing to the main banks will only resolve via federal cannabis reform. Such banking bills has repeatedly passed the House of Representatives with bipartisan support before being blocked by Senate Republicans. In the meantime, states have the power to prevent illegal markets from smothering their legal counterparts. The fastest way to support operations will be to reduce pot taxes, currently at 13% in New York State. But folks are counting on that tax revenue for law enforcement, youth programs, and racial justice initiatives heavily baked into New York's push to decriminalize cannabis, reduce the tax pools, and someone will eventually be left out. New York's legal weed market is in an uneasy early stage, clamoring for a foothold in the unfair arena where legal competitors clearly have the upper hand, overtaxed and in many ways overregulated. For the instant, New York is the only state to charge distributors an additional potency tax. New York's pot market is already well going to pot as consumers flock to more convenient dealers and depots. And the thing is that, this is, like I said, a lot of people have predicted this. This is not something that's on there. And if you say, well, how can that be possible, with the illegal and stuff like that? Where are they doing? Well, I'll tell you this. This is what happened in San Francisco just recently. Video shows, and this is out SA Gate, video shows an instant a home in San Francisco's Sunset District exploded. Now, most people says that this guy was doing, making drugs. And people would say, well, he probably was making meth in there. No, actually, he was manufacturing cannabis in the home. And basically, because he wasn't doing it legally, he was taking steps to get around certain things. And of course, boom, this is what happens. Legalizing the weed was not going to stop the illegal weed. It's still coming across that border. It's still coming from the farms on there as well. It's coming all over the state. It's just that basically now, if someone has a bag of it, they're not getting arrested for it now. And the thing about it is it's also increasing crime. We had recently in Harlem shooting victim at a smoke shop on there. That happened just recently, and several others that have happened. And this is not uncommon that this is going to happen. The cigarette industry has been going through something similar for, the inception of cigarette, when they put taxation on cigarettes. My family used to own a cigarette wholesalers. It's one of the toughest business to be in, because you can't only be selling cigarettes, you got to be selling like candy and all, accessories and stuff like that, because basically you do have a hefty competition. And the thing about it is your competitors don't play fair, because, as New York City goes in to try to stop some of these illegal smoke shops that are selling cannabis, guess what else they're finding? Untaxed cigarettes. Yeah, folks, untaxed cigarettes. Stuff like I said, this is what drove my family out of the business, because basically there was too much untaxed cigarettes. And guess what? A lot of the times my competitors will contact ATF, and I get ATF knocking on our warehouse door, wanting to inspect, and we had no problem. We let them in, let them inspect, and they said, someone's saying that you get it illegal. I said, no, we don't. We'll show you all our receipts. We'll give you all of our vendors that we deal with, and they will tell you that. And many a times my clients will come into me and says, hey, because this is the one thing you realize is that the prices are set by the federal government. Someone will tell you, they says, well, your competitor is selling it for 13 cents lower. And I says, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. It's not legal. If they're selling it on there, go right ahead, go buy it. Guaranteed, they won't have a tax stamp on it, because they bought ones that are not been stamped, that have been either stolen, or they've gotten ones that just haven't gotten through the stamping process. And our business was in the 80s. Okay, this was back in the 80s. Here we are in 2023, and it's still ongoing. The other thing is like, the loose cigarettes, the loosies and stuff, what they call the loosies. I said, well, that doesn't harm anyone. There is no taxation on that. Guys selling cigarettes off to the side, they're saying, they're selling 1 or 2 cigarettes outside. That is illegal as well. Loosies are illegal because it's not taxed, because of what they're carrying there. And many times I've gone across to Staten Island or into another borough, I get guys who come up to me and they have a whole bag full of, untaxed cigarettes. I say, hey, you need a pack of cigarettes? I'll sell it to you for this. Guess what? They're doing it to cannabis. They're doing it to the cannabis and the edibles. And the thing about it is the dangers that this could perceive, because you don't know where they're getting this product from. For all you know, it could be laced with fentanyl. And we've heard those stories already from certain states. We've heard, this is California is having their issues. Colorado is having their issues. Everywhere where basically cannabis has been made legal, there are issues. They said, oh, we're going to make billions in the taxes, but they're not. The non-taxed ones are the ones making the money, the illegal owner. And it's going to continue no matter how much, Eric Adams or Governor Hochul puts on our streets of New York as far as law enforcement. They're not going to catch everyone. And it's the same way that the ATF hasn't been able to catch everyone with non-taxable cigarettes. This would have been better off left for medical marijuana through pharmaceutical and a medical doctor. Proper medical doctor that was able to be licensed to dispense these by prescription only, and only for certain situations, not the way they're throwing prescriptions out left and right, as they did in California when they first started several years ago. So tell me in the comments below your thoughts to the situation, because this is a big issue. It is a big issue. This is causing crime, and every expert has said this situation. It will not help. There are those in the federal government that says, no, this is why we haven't legalized it, is because there's a lot of parameters that basically will cause issues. We already heard Canada wants to legalize everything else. That's going to be a big issue on their end. You can imagine if cocaine is legal in freaking Canada. So tell me in the comments below what your thoughts are. And, if you like this video, please give us a subscription. I hope that I earned your subscription today. And don't forget to like the video and, share it with others on there, because this is an important issue. Whether you're for or against, everyone is against crime. And to properly, and the biggest thing that people talked about when they did this the whole canvas is because people need it for health reasons. Well, why was recreation approved? Plain and simple. And and before I forget, before we leave here, there's already situations in emergency rooms where people are showing up sick because of some of the cannabis. And you can look this up. So once again, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye now.